Well, to speak more about this is Lorenz Kohler. A very good evening and welcome to Newzroom Afrika. Good to be chatting to you once again. This certainly shook the footballing world today.
Yeah, definitely. It was obviously big news, but it also doesn't come as a surprise to some people that's in the media space. As we know, there has been problems behind the scenes with Coach Rulani and some of upper management, which many people have reported now with the sporting director Flemming Berg. There was known issues during the course of the season. And we got tip-offs last week stating that there was an ultimatum given between either the coach or the sporting director leaving. And yeah, some sources have also indicated that it's perhaps he not meeting the required target set in his contract as well. So yeah, it's obviously a shocking news because he wasn't the coach of the season. Record points total with Sundowns to win the league, African Football League, Champions League final, Nedbank Cup final. But yeah, obviously, possibly the the disagreements behind the scenes in upper management with the head coaches led to this departure.
It's quite incredible to think that the season that Mamelodi Sundowns had, and there was what now seems to be a lot of tension with upper management. It seems like quite an incredible feat then, what Mamelodi Sundowns were able to achieve, or perhaps the pressure that the coach was able to keep from his players.
Yeah, definitely. Look, I mean, the squad is quite big as well. Lots of senior players as well, big egos, big personalities. So that is obviously something that is commendable that they were able, to generate that sort of results as well. But at the same time, it's like, how can I say, double-edged sword, where when you have all this quality, when you invest in such quality players, such quality technical team, quality coaches, the expectation is to win. We see that in big clubs all over the world, Al Ahly in Egypt, Real Madrid in Spain, So when you have how can I say, when in those big teams, you're gonna have those big problems. But yes, it is commendable. And in the media, in the press conferences, he was giving hints. Coach Rulani was giving hints of the tremendous pressure that he was under. He was calling for patience at times. He was calling for more recognition. Perhaps that he wasn't appreciated within the club. And that's why I said it also wasn't surprising. He was dropping hints that there was a potential to have the surprise at the end of the season.
A couple of reports today are saying that Patrice Carteron, a former Al Ahly coach, is perhaps on the radar. What do we know about potential replacements?
Look, at the moment, from what I've heard, is that they haven't made a decision. They are looking. Obviously, look, this parting of ways was on the cards, but also unexpected because it's preseason just started. Ideally, they wouldn't want to have the situation that they're in. Carteron was linked with the club some months ago when there were murmurs of Rulani potentially being replaced. But they moved on from that, and then nothing went about of it. It was business as usual, and they got results again. So look, it wouldn't be the first time he's linked to the club, but for me to say that he will be the successor, I mean, he's a bit premature, as you mentioned. The club haven't even officially communicated the exit of Mokwena yet. So I think it's still early days to say that, but I'm sure Sundowns will want to move swiftly because preseason has started and they're obviously going for a tour to Austria soon. So they want to have the new players and obviously their coaching staff in full-fledged ahead of that.
Lorenz, just before I let you go, do you have any idea of where the source of the tension was between upper management and Coach Mokwena?
Obviously, I think it was many things, direction of the team, who should be released, who should be signed, where perhaps the sporting director is, placing a certain amount of players and saying, this is who we should sign, this is who we should release. And the coaching staff and the technical team not fully in agreement with that style of play. The sporting director was coming in there to implement a foundation, a legacy, and things like that. And perhaps they were just not aligned with the technical team, not in agreement with the results or the performance weren't good enough. So yeah, big personalities obviously create this sort of issues. Many people thought they might get, beyond this for the success of the club, but obviously leaving a 4-year contract after just one season shows that the tension was just too much, and they decided to just part ways.
Lorenz Kohler, Times writer, thanks so much for chatting to us here on Newzroom Afrika, a story that we certainly will be following closely, that of our defending PSL champions, African League champions, and now without a coach.